Yo, what's happening? We are doing a Dreadmas. This is episode one. Now, a little explanation here. I just went to meet a buyer off of the internet to pick up a lens that I wanted to film with over the next 30 days. Picked up a nice little wide angle autofocus lens. So this is just me testing it out here at the store and here at home as well. And yeah. All right. So first order of business, that's my desk. All right. Yo, it's a new day. It's a new day. And we're doing this Dreadmas thing here. And on today's episode, I'm washing my dreadlocks. It's definitely about time that they get washed. Now, I don't have a set regiment or time frame on when I wash my locks, but typically I tend to go by how my scalp feels. Now, when I start to get too much dry skin in excess, this tells me that I need to wash it, add some moisturizer back into there. So that's what it's kind of like today. And oftentimes when my hair gets to this level of dryness, I tend to wear my hat more often, especially at work or when I'm around people, just so it keeps like the flakes from falling down as much. But it's not dandruff, it's dry scalp, which is a big difference. I'm gonna go ahead and take my dreads out of my hat and I'll show you what I'm working with right now. I think the last time I washed it was probably a month and a half ago, I would say. So it's not too bad. It's just with this dry winter air that's coming in, yes, it definitely does wreak havoc on my scalp. Yep, this is the shampoo that I use. Dermarest Psoriasis. I find it does a pretty good job at keeping the dry scalp at bay. Now, I'm not going to show you myself in the shower. I find that those shots are kind of cheesy. I don't really need to show you glimpses of me in a private moment, but I'm basically gonna go wash my hair. I usually just hit the scalp with the water and the shampoo, let it sit, rinse it, repeat, and then get out with my towel. You always want to have an extra towel, one for your hair and then one for your body, of course. And then I'm gonna hit it with the blow dryer. So I'll check up with you right after I'm done in the water here. Okay, I'm back out. I got my towel plop on. My procedure in there. I rinsed, I lathered, I rinsed. There was no repetition. Today I just wanted to get a quick wash in. A couple things that came to mind. Kind of out of breath after doing that for some reason. A couple things that came to mind was focus on the scalp and like the first inch of the root hair. That's my problem area. I don't focus any time on scrubbing down the whole length of the lock, just the scalp and the first inch of root hair. Also, when you're done showering, turn the water off, squeeze out as much water as you can, and if possible, shake your head around. I like to grab it in a ponytail and kind of like and whip it around like a helicopter to get out a lot more of that wetness. And then I put it in the towel plop for like 30 to 45 minutes to let it soak up. Then I'm gonna blast it with some heat from the air dryer. But one thing I wanna show you that's left behind in the shower after I'm done. All right, so after I'm done showering, I get a lot of this left in the tub. That's from me shaking my head after getting all the water out. And my advice is just be courteous to the next person that needs to use the shower. and wipe all this down so that other people aren't bathing in excess hair residue. Now it's pretty obvious dreadlocks are knotted and matted hair. A lot of that hair is hair that's fallen off of our head that we've retained in the dread itself, so it only makes sense that some of it's going to come loose when we're doing a vigorous activity like washing. That's why my shower is full of it right now, and I'm just going to go and wipe it down and make it nice and clean. This is the blow dryer I like to use. Apparently it's an old school salon hairstyle hair dryer, but yeah, I really like the double barrel. I mean, I know it's not for everybody, the double barrel, but before I use the hair dryer, I'm gonna sit here for half an hour and let my towel soak up some more of this dampness. Now we just wait even more air drying with the blow dryer, probably for another 30 minutes. As you can see, it's a long process to wash and dry dreadlocks. Luckily, it doesn't have to be done all that often. 2-3 times a month, the most. Twice at the month, once or twice a month at the most, honestly. All right, it's been about half an hour, 35 minutes of blow drying, and I would say it's about 80% dry, maybe 70% dry. I tend to leave it at this for the rest of the day, and even with it air drying for the next 12 to 18 hours, they're still kind of like wet, not wet, but like damp in the morning. Maybe they'll get to like 90-95% tomorrow. So it won't take another 24 hours for them to still completely dry out. But the majority of the moisture is gone. So that's pretty much what my wash routine is like. I'd say the tips are probably the wettest part right now. But because I have such shorter locks on the back and the sides, it's a lot easier to wash and dry than opposed to when I was having a full head of locks. And as I was mentioning earlier about the kind of like the helicopter technique, when my dreads are really wet, when I'm in the shower still and I want to get out of the shower, I'll grab them like this and I'll swing them like this, all over like this, to try and really get out a lot of that wetness that's inside my locks. And just for the record, throughout these DREADMAS vlogs, you're gonna see me and hear me referring to my hair as dreads or locks or dreadlocks. A lot of the time, I find the word dread versus lock very interchangeable. I don't find either one of them better than the other, offensive or not offensive. I don't find the word dreads offensive. I also don't find the word locks to be very adequate either. I just kind of use whichever one pops into mind. In all reality, a lot of people I know in these days are like, oh, don't use the word dread because there's nothing dreadful about having locks. This whole mentality to me is very woke, and I'm not a fan of that. You know, I'm not a fan of using the word like locks, really, because it's a really woke mentality. It's almost like people are trying to change the past. They're trying to change people's vocabulary. They're trying to reprogram society. And if we just let go of the belief of it being any sort of negativity or any dreadful connotations, then it's not going to exist. There's no need to change the way that we speak in revolvement around of our hairstyle and our lifestyles. With everything said and done, I listen to a lot of Bob Marley and the Wailers, Bunny Wailer, Peter Tosh, and honestly, not one of them ever used the term locks in their songs. There's always the word dread in any of their references towards Rastamen, dreadheads, or just dreadlocks in general. So the word locks is a much newer word that's only been coming around the past couple decades, if anything. And I find, like I said, yeah, it's just a little bit too woke. I like to hold on to the original saying, dreader than dread. And if you really want to show people that your hair is not dreadful in any ways, it's not about what we speak, it's about how we act. Just don't act dreadful to people. Just don't present your hair in a dreadful manner, you know. It's all about our actions. There's an old saying that actions speak louder than words. So let's not care about the way that we speak. It's more so on the way that we act.